Welcome back, everybody, to the World of Juice Hoops channel, and welcome back to another episode of the Los Angeles Lakers Flashback rebuild here on NBA 2K22. It is season 31, episode 31. I hope you guys are excited because I'm excited. We've got a fresh start, and let's get right into it. Hit that like button if you do go and enjoy. Subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Let's get straight into the good stuff. So, if you guys watched the last episode, you know the deal. You know the dealio. This team is not as good as it has been in previous years. And for the first time in 12 seasons, we did not even make it to the NBA Finals. We were eliminated by the San Antonio Spurs, I'm pretty sure, in the conference finals. Yeah, so our 12-year dynasty, 12 in a row, is over. Done. Finished. Put a ribbon on it. It's done. Now we got to start a new one. But this is the team that we're working with. We still got Magic Johnson. 12-year pro. Had his best year as a pro ever in terms of his points per game, his rebounds, his assisting, his steals, his shooting percentages. Best year ever. He's still here as the veteran point guard. We've got rookie Devin Booker. We've got second-year pro Andrew Wiggins, who's taking over for Elgin Baylor, who we traded last offseason. We've got Kevin Garnett, who's now a veteran on this team, and he is starting to become one of the best players in the league. We've got we've got veteran Roy Hibbert, who is going to be our starting center for this season. We've got Malik Beasley, who is a veteran, very, very much a veteran in this league, and has put up some decent points in his career. Has put up some very good points. We've got young Joel Embiid coming off of a very good rookie season. Hopefully going to be taking over for Roy Hibbert in a couple of seasons, if not next year. Who knows? We've got Jabari Parker, who is young. We traded for him. I think he was in the Elgin Baylor trade. We've got Carlos Boozer, who is a veteran. We've got D'Angelo Russell, who we drafted this past offseason. We've got Jordan Clarkson, who had a really good year last year. Justice Winslow, who we took this year in the draft. Tim Duncan's here. So, I mean, we've got a mix of good young guys and some solid veterans. But the overall difference is shockingly worse than what it was in previous years. I mean, we had guys like Yao Ming, Elgin Baylor, Kobe, LeBron, Kevin Durant, Luka Doncic. I mean, all these guys have walked through the Staples Center during this 12-year run. And this is what we're left with. It's kind of like I don't really know if it's like a rebuild at this point. It's kind of like a reload after we've just gotten done with a 12-year dynasty reign. So that's what the team is looking like. If you want to take a look at the overall history of the NBA, Giannis has pretty much guaranteed himself as one of, if not the greatest player in this entire franchise's history, or in this entire history of this series, along with Rick Barry. Rick Barry's right up there, but he doesn't have the championships to go along with Giannis. But the past championships, as you can see, we had a massive, massive dynasty going here, and then the Raptors beat us. Oh, it was the Mavericks who beat us. I thought it was we probably played the Spurs earlier in the playoffs, but it was the Mavericks who defeated us in the Western Conference Finals and then went on to lose to Giannis and the Raptors. And Giannis gets a championship that's not with LA, so that's pretty good. That even adds more to his dynasty and to his legacy. So that's what we're working with in terms of the state of the franchise and the state of the save right now. But we've got one more important thing to talk about, and that is the ever important draft class spin on the wheel. We've gotten a pretty decent streak of like 2 or 3 in a row where we've gotten more modern draft classes, after a couple in a row of super, super old draft classes. But let's spin the wheel and see if we can get another modern one, or if we're going back to the old days. We are going back into the time machine to 1987. 1987 is the draft class that we are going to be fighting for in this episode. Okay, 1987. That's got to have some importance, right? There's got to be somebody of value in the 1987 draft class. A few years after Michael Jordan. There's a 924 one. We might as well use that. Oh, I think I see who the important one is. Reggie Miller? Is this gonna have good old Reggie Miller? He is in this one. Oh, I should have known it was Scottie Pippen. Duh, that makes so much sense. Because the Bulls drafted Scottie 3 years after they drafted Jordan. So this has got Reggie Miller, David Robinson, Scottie Pippen, and Muggsy Bogues. Okay. Okay, Horace Grant's in this one. Kenny the Jet. Chris Oakley? He's not a real person. Or he might be. I don't know. He might be a real person. I don't know. All right. So this is a top-heavy, very, very top-heavy draft. First 3 picks are going to be absolutely crucial. Now, the fact is, if we take a look at our draft picks, we come over here and look at our, where's that? There it is. Draft picks. We have 4 first-round picks from the Celtics, the Hawks, the Jazz, and the Rockets. So, I mean, are we going to try and get one of the top guys? We don't really need a center. We don't really need David Robinson because we have Roy Hibbert and Joel Embiid. We don't really need, like, Scottie Pippen because we have Andrew Wiggins. I guess the only guy would be Reggie Miller to have at shooting guard. That could be pretty fun. That's really the only guy that I'd be targeting in this class, and maybe we'll end up with him. Maybe we won't. I don't know. But we've got to get to February 11th, the All-Star Draft, kind of halfway to the season, not really halfway to the season. You know what it is. We talked about all the things that happened with the roster in the past couple of episodes, and we've talked about the draft class now. I think it's time to simulate. I hope you guys are enjoying the episode. If you're going to enjoy the entire episode, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Let's get to it. Okay, so we make it to February 11th, and as you can see in the top of your screen, we're actually not first in the conference. And this is the first time that we haven't been number 1 in the conference in probably 15 years, I'd say. It has been a long time since we have not been number 1 in the Western Conference. The Mavericks are 40-13. We got to take a look at what the Mavericks are working with here because they beat us. They beat us last year. What are they working with? They got a young Amari Stoudemire, George Hill, DeAndre Jordan at the height of his powers, Devin Vassell's older veteran, Nerlens Noel's an older veteran. They don't really have a good team. I mean, it's a solid team. I'm not hating on it or anything, but I mean, I feel like we have a better run team, better overalls. We have a lot more 80s. Everybody's developing really well. I mean, Joel Embiid's up to an 84. We got Wiggins at an 82. Jabari Parker's an 82. I really hope he develops because I'd like to see him have a resurgence. I do want to quickly check the Utah Jazz, or not the Utah. Who was it? Who did we trade? Who did we trade him to? Where is he at? All players. We have the highest rated player in the league. That's pretty cool. There's Elgin Baylor. We traded him to the Kings, and he's having a really good season, Elgin Baylor. Really good year. He's bumped up his points and his rebounds. He might win MVP this year. Who knows? Maybe Kevin Garnett will win MVP. I don't know. Let's go take a look at the stats to find out where everybody's sitting. So Kevin Garnett is averaging about 20 points per game. He's got 12 rebounds, 6 assists. He's dominating. Kevin Garnett was certainly well worth the draft pick. Then you got Magic, who's averaging a double-double for the first time, I think, in his entire career. Yeah, it is officially a double-double so far. I think I gave this technically a double-double because it's 9.9. I mean, what's 0.1 really? So I think I gave that a technical double-double, but this is, so far this season, an official double-double throughout this season. Devin Booker in his rookie year, killing the game, might win Rookie of the Year, who knows? Joel Embiid has bumped up his production, but he has been hurt a little bit. We've been hit with a little bit of the injury bug. Embiid's been hurt a little bit. D'Angelo Russell's been hurt a little bit. Roy Hibbert's been hurt a little bit. But other than that, we've been playing really, really well. Good production from Joel Embiid. He might get most improved player after this. I don't know. Jabari Parker has dropped his scoring a little bit. He's dropped all of his numbers except for he's bumped up his percentages, except for his free throw percentage. Probably because he's getting behind Malik Beasley, who is, I mean, he's a solid player, Malik Beasley. Obviously, we know what he did in real life, but he's a good player. D'Angelo Russell in his rookie year, not playing as well as Devin Booker is, but that's because, one, Devin Booker's starting and Russell isn't, and two, Russell's been hurt for a little bit of the season, so, and Devin Booker really hasn't, so that's probably factoring more towards why he's not doing so well. Then we got Carlos Boozer, who's been a good bench piece. Tim Duncan's even been a good bench piece when he needs to come in. Jordan Clarkson not getting a ton of minutes, which is kind of upsetting. I feel like these two guys should really get some decent minutes, but whatever. I guess they're not going to. Let's take a look at the rest of the league and see where everybody's at. So Russell Westbrook is dominating. He is absolutely dominating. Basically 34 points per game and basically 10 assists per game. Russell Westbrook did not have a very good season. Yeah, he dropped off. As you can see, this is when he won the scoring title. He kind of dropped off last episode, and now this episode he has bumped up the scoring tremendously. He is killing the game. McDyess is doing good. Fred Brown is killing it. Luke is still here at 35 years old. Anthony Edwards is still here at 33. Elgin Baylor's a top 10 scorer. Kareem is 33, still scoring a decent amount. There's Dr. J scoring some. We got a lot of former Lakers in here. There's Jaylen Brown, former Laker, who has really shined in Phoenix, which I'm happy about that. There's Derrick Rose, another former Laker. We drafted that man, and he's been a very solid player for us, and he was a very solid player for the Spurs too. There's Kevin Love, also a former Laker. Once you get deep into these kind of series, you see a lot of former Lakers running around town. But let's go to the All-Star draft and see who's the team. So it's Team Russell, Team Kevin. Oh, look at that. We got a team captain. Team Kevin Garnett, Team Russell Westbrook. Let's see who they draft. So Team Kevin Garnett is Luka, Dr. J, Derrick Rose, Antonio McDyess. And then Anthony Edwards, Kareem, JoJo White, Fred Brown, Spencer Haywood, Rasheed Wallace, George McGinnis. And then Team Russell Westbrook is Giannis, Magic, Artis Gilmore, Elgin Baylor, James Wiseman, Bill Russell, Ben Simmons, Wayne Embry, Sidney Moncrief, Hal Greer, Jamal Murray. So we get two All-Stars, both starters. Obviously, we get Captain Kevin Garnett, and then we get Magic. Kind of surprised that Devin Booker didn't make it, but Jamal Murray did. I don't know. I guess he didn't have that good of a year so far. But you can see a lot of former Lakers on this All-Star team. Luka, Dr. J, Derrick Rose, Anthony Edwards, Kareem. Then on the other side, Giannis, Elgin Baylor, obviously. James Wiseman was here for a little bit. Ben Simmons was here. So a lot of former Lakers filtering out this league. But we've got nothing else to do besides go to the end of the season. So I'll see you guys then. The season is wraps, and in a shocking turn of events, Antonio McDyess is your most valuable player. Not Russell Westbrook, who probably should have had it, averaging a really good amount of points. But Antonio McDyess, I guess those rebounds just overtook what Russell Westbrook was doing. Congratulations to him, man. He gets an MVP. Rookie of the Year is Karl Anthony Towns. Devin Booker finishes third in rookie voting. Okay. Cat. Well-deserved, maybe. I don't know. Kira Lewis Jr. is the sixth man of the year. Giannis takes home another defensive player of the year. Larry Nance is the most improved player. Coach of the year is CJ Rogers. And Jacob Park is the executive of the year. Okay. So no awards for us. Here's all NBA first team. Russell, Luka, McDyess, Baylor, and Embry. Then it's, as you can see, Magic Johnson hurt, but he does make the second team. He got hurt right at the end of the season. Derrick Rose, Kevin Garnett, Dr. J, and Artis Gilmore. So two All-NBA second teamers for the Lakers. Anthony Edwards, Hal Greer, Giannis, McGinnis, and James Wiseman on the third team. All-defensive team. Kevin Garnett makes it. That's pretty cool. Second team, Mario Chalmers makes it. That's cool for him. And then the rookie team got Devin Booker making the first team. Second team, we don't get anybody. Kind of upset that D'Angelo didn't make it or anything like that, but I guess they just didn't get enough minutes maybe. I don't know what it is, but yeah, we are not the one seed. We are not the one seed for the first time in a long time, and I mean a long, long time that we have not been the one seed. And we even went on a pretty decent win streak towards the end of the year, but the Mavericks were just so good this year. I don't know why they were so good, but they were. Here's the final stats. Kevin Garnett led the team in scoring. Averaged a double-double, had his best season, I'd say, as a Laker. Then you got Magic, who is going to start the playoffs hurt, which could hurt us. No pun intended there. He could that could affect us in terms of play style and in terms of the lineup that we run out there. Devin Booker had a really solid rookie season. I'm very impressed with him. He's a 79 overall. Joel Embiid had a very good second year in the league. He might even take over for Roy Hibbert because Roy Hibbert is a free agent after this season, so we might even let him go. Or he's got a player option, I think. I'm pretty sure this is a player option that he has. We can check. Oh, he's got a regular thing. Okay, so we can just trade him. I think I'm going to trade him. He's been a really good player for us. I shouldn't say that. He's been a good player for us, but I think it's time for Embiid to take the reins as the starter. Wiggins is here. Jabari Parker's a good defensive or a good backup power forward for us. I'd like to have a power forward that can shoot the ball a little bit, but I guess Jabari will work because I do like Jabari Parker a lot. Malik Beasley, I guess, could be that guy that shoots the ball for us, but I don't really think Malik Beasley is going to be around for a long time. There's D'Angelo Russell. Yeah, he just didn't get the minutes, or maybe he got hurt a lot. I don't really know, but he didn't really get the minutes. Speaking of not getting the minutes, Jordan Clarkson, who had a really good rookie year and then just fell off a cliff because he didn't get any minutes, didn't shoot a three ball at all this season. And Justice Winslow played a little bit, but not enough. So that's what our stats are looking like. The rest of the league, I'm assuming, yes, Russell Westbrook took home the scoring title with a really good season. McDyess was right behind him, but these rebounds are what pushed him forward. I guess the MVP voting values rebounds more than it does assists. But I guess 14 rebounds a game is pretty crazy. So congratulations to Antonio McDyess. Well-deserved MVP. I just thought they'd give it to Russell Westbrook on pure scoring alone. Anthony Edwards, then you got Fred Brown. Elgin Baylor finishes top 5. Good for him. Rasheed Wallace finishes top 10. A little bit shocking because, I mean, he's been around the top 15, top 10 in previous seasons, but not really this high up, and I'm happy to see him up there. But let's get to the play-in. Let's see who we're playing in the play-in. We are taking on, in the first round, the New Orleans Pelicans, who have Lucius Allen, Randy Smith, Larry Keenan, Anthony Randolph, and former Laker DeAndre Ayton. I think he's been here for a long time, actually. We've got a better team than them, so let's get straight through this. They take game 1. We take game 2. There's us 3. Clarkson's injured, but he's going to be back. And in 5 games, we move on. So does Dallas, but Dallas swept the Warriors. And Malik Beasley broke his nose. Put that mask on, Beasley. Put that mask on and move on. We're taking on the 3-seeded Oklahoma City Thunder, who have Jamal Murray, John Williamson, Tom Chambers, Jason Thompson, and Bill Russell. We've had battles with the Thunder in the past of this series. We've had some epic second-round matchups with the Oklahoma City Thunder. They had some pretty good teams early in the franchise. But let's see what happens here. Second round of the playoffs. We take game 1. They take game 2. We take game 3. There's 4. And there's 5. All right, so the Mavericks have a 3-1 lead over the Grizzlies, and they beat them in 5 as well. So it's the inevitable. It's a 1 versus 2 and a 1 versus 2. It is the inevitable rematch of last year's Western Conference Finals, and we finally get Magic back. He returns for this series, going up against George Hill, Kyle Weaver, Devin Vassell, Amari Stoudemire, and DeAndre Ayton. We win in every battle except for the small forward position. This team is, I don't know how this team is so good. They don't really look that good overall wise. I don't know what they're doing, but they're a pretty good team. Game 1 is a Dallas victory. I'm not really sure. I guess it's just Amari Stoudemire just being a bully down there. They take game 2 as well. Are we going to fall to Devin Vassell gave us 30. We finally get a game. That's good. The Celtics are up 3-0 against the Knicks. Magic came back and put 32, 8, and 9 on the board, and we just held everybody. All right, game 4 is a Mavericks victory. Celtics won in 4 games. They swept the Knicks, and this is not looking good, ladies and gentlemen. We might be going out back-to-back Western Conference Finals to the Dallas Mavericks. Are we creating a little bit of a rivalry here? Is this going to be a consistent rivalry that we got? It looks like we're going to extend it one more game, and we will. 118-107. So we will go to 6. What's the box score looking like for this one? Stoudemire 22. Parker put up 21. Johnson had a double-double. Kevin Garnett 20 and 7. We've got some good players, but it's just the the matter of them scoring when we need to. Oh, we burst onto the scene with a great first quarter. There we go. Come on, boys. Make it 7. Yes, we're blowing them out of the water. Kevin Garnett carries the Lakers to a Game 7. What did he do? I mean, a triple-double is all he did. 12, 10, and 12. D-Book had 13. Beasley had 23, 7, and 5. Johnson had 25, 7, and 8. Oh, we were dominating. George Hill was their leading scorer by a good amount, 24, 5, and 5. And we're going to Game 7, ladies and gentlemen. The Celtics are completely rested. We are just beating each other to a pulp in the Western Conference Finals, but the Mavericks absolutely, hold on. Take a look at this score chart for the first half so far. They beat us 33-8. 33-8 in the first quarter. That is absolutely massive, but we had a great third quarter, and we're right back in this game. Oh, a minute 26 to go. I'm going to slow this down, and then we're going to jump in. 32 seconds is a one-point game. We got to jump in and see what happens here. We are up by 1 in Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals. Are we going to be back in the NBA championship? NBA Finals, I should say. Here we go. Kevin Garnett will inbound. There's Magic. He gives to Booker. All we got to do is just hold the ball, really. He goes down to Embiid. He puts it up. Jordan with the good defense, but Embiid gets the rebound. Doesn't get a foul, and Stoudemire gets the rebound. And now the Mavericks go up the court. Garnett covering Amari Stoudemire. Down low to Nerlens Noel. He puts it up on Beasley. He's got it good. Timeout Lakers. Final timeout of the game for Los Angeles. And wow, Nerlens Noel might have just saved the Mavericks season and allowed them to get back to the NBA Finals. But we still got a chance. 13-7 to go. Down by 1. We just need a 2. Don't go for a 3 if you don't need to. Magic's going to hold for final shot. Who do we give it to? Do we give it to D-Book? He's open. Give it to D-Book. Shoot it, D. No! Devin Booker didn't put enough on it. We gave it to the young buck, the second-year player out of Kentucky. And he just couldn't get it done. And we will fall to the Dallas Mavericks for the second year in a row. Probably 102. Oh, okay. I was going to say probably 102 to 99, but it looks like it might be 101-99. And it will be. It's a 2-point game with 2.4 to go. You got to chuck up a 3. Magic. Send it. Half court. Oh, I thought that almost went in. But we will lose to the Dallas Mavericks for the second year in a row. The Mavericks go back-to-back to the finals. And your Los Angeles Lakers will go home in disappointment. That's upsetting. That is upsetting. Beasley should have played better defense. He doesn't. We get a back view of them holding up the Western Conference trophy. That is unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate that we could not get the win here. Magic had 24 and 7 in 40 minutes. Garnett had 19, 18, and 6. I mean, it's not Garnett's fault we lost. Devin Booker just did not play well. 1 for 5 from 3. I guess the bright lights got to him. And the Los Angeles Lakers have been eliminated from the postseason. It's Celtics Mavs in the NBA Finals. That's different from what it was last year. The Raptors, who didn't even make the playoffs, the defending champ, did they make the play-in game? They had to have. They didn't even make the play-in. The Raptors, who were the defending champs, didn't even make the playoffs this year. That's crazy. The Celtics have LaMelo, Giannis, Ben Simmons. Oh, this team I knew was going to be good. Oh, I see why they're so good. And they took game 1. Mavericks fight back for game 2. They take game 3. Can Dallas do it? Can Dallas do it? Celtics fight back. But the Dallas Mavericks have finally gotten their championship. George Hill is the finals MVP. That team has beaten a Laker dynasty and this Celtics team that has LaMelo, Giannis, Zach LaVine, Ben Simmons, and Yao Ming on it. And Giannis is one of the greatest players of all time. So, I mean, the Dallas Mavericks might have just etched their names in history as maybe the greatest team. Maybe the greatest season, I should say, of all time. But congratulations to them, man. I don't know. I don't really see what they saw, but They did it. They did it. And the Raptors players, Chauncey Billups and Mo Bamba, said, yeah, I'm out of here. We didn't make the playoffs. I'm out of here. Tim Duncan, we already know is a Hall of Famer because he was already inducted into the Hall of Fame. So he certainly has had a Hall of Fame level career, and the game has rewarded him with that. He's got NBA championships. I know he does. He's a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. He's got 7 All-Star appearances, 1 All-NBA. Yeah, he's a Hall of Fame level player. And Chauncey Billups has put up some really good numbers in his career. Is he a Hall of Fame level player? 3-time All-Star, All-Defensive Second Team. That's on the very low end of All-Star or Hall of Fame career. We'll see what they do. Wendell Carter Jr., does he have a Hall of Fame career? No, not in terms of the awards. And his career stats are pretty decent, but nothing really worth a Hall of Fame induction. Mo Bamba, did he have? I know he had some pretty dominant years early in the save. He did not get any championships or any big-time awards, but he did put up some pretty good numbers in Utah in the beginning of his career. So probably not a Hall of Famer, but a really good career. Jaren Jackson Jr. calls it a career. He was an 11-time All-NBA All-Defensive Team first teamer. I said that really weird. He won a Defensive Player of the Year. He was an 8-time All-Star. He was an All-NBA first teamer. I'd say that's a Hall of Fame career. I'd put him in, especially with the numbers he was putting up early in the save. So I mean, yeah, I'd say that's a Hall of Fame career. And then we go to Colin Sexton. Was he ever on our team? He was on the Clippers. He was never on the Lakers, but he's got a couple All-Stars. He won a Most Improved Player. He was a 3rd-team All-NBA. Not a Hall of Fame career, but a very, very solid career. You'd want that if you were an NBA player. Tyrese Maxey's calling it a career. He was on the Lakers for a little bit. He's got some championships. He's got 4 NBA titles. Mo Wagner was never on our team. Lonnie Walker was. He's got 1 championship. So I'd say out of all these guys, Rudy Gobert calls it a career. He was a champion, 2051. What team was he on? Oh, he was on that Raptors team that just won last year. Okay. All right, cool. Not a Hall of Famer, I wouldn't say. Maybe they put him in. Who knows? Who knows really what they put in? But let's find out. Staff retirements, Hall of Fame inductees, Jaren Jackson Jr., Tim Duncan, Chauncey Billups. So guys that I figured were going to be in the Hall of Fame do make it. Jersey retirements, Archibald gets his jersey retired, Jaren Jackson Jr., Chauncey Billups. League meetings, got to make sure everything's rejected. There we go. And then the draft lottery. I don't know if we have any draft lottery picks. We have 1. The best odds, and we get the 5th pick. Okay, all right, we get the 5th pick, and then I guess we can just simulate up here. I don't think, do we really want to get anybody? Is that a question? Do we really want to get anybody? I probably would trade Roy Hibbert, but other than that, I don't think we need to draft anybody. I want to stick with Devin Booker. I want to continue to develop in. I want to continue to develop Andrew Wiggins. So I think we just trade our 1st-round picks for picks in a later year, along with Roy Hibbert, and then we move on. I think that's the plan. So let's go trade some draft picks. All right, let's go trade some draft picks. Trade finder. We also got to trade Roy Hibbert. So let's just throw Roy Hibbert out there first off and see if there's anybody interested. There is some people interested. We could go get DeAndre Jordan, who just beat us in the conference finals and won a championship in the process. Okay. So it looks like Roy Hibbert's got some decent value for his services. I'm very, very intrigued. We could get Kristaps, who could be a developing piece. That could be very interesting. We'd also have to give up DJ Augustine, but I'm not really too fussed about that. Let's get Kristaps. We bring in another young center to go alongside Joel Embiid, who will presumably, once we bring him back on his contract, will be the starting center for us. And then Kristaps can come off the bench. He can play power forward. He can do a lot of stuff for us. I'm very happy bringing in Joel, or bringing in Kristaps, I should say. But let's go get some more draft picks. Maybe not the Celtics, because the Celtics are very, very good right now. Maybe I was going to say maybe the Mavericks, but the Mavericks are also very, very good, apparently. The Pacers could be very, very interesting. I'm very intrigued by that. And the Pacers might be the best offer for these 2 first rounds. It looks like they are. Let's go trade with the Indiana Pacers and get 2 more first round picks for a couple more seasons. I like the sound of that. And I don't think we're going to be drafting anybody. I think, like I said earlier, I think I'm content with the way that our roster is built right now. We got a good backup point guard, a young developing backup point guard. We got a young developing shooting guard with a nice backup. We got a nice young small forward with a nice young backup as well. We got a beast at power forward with a couple good backups there. And we got Joel and Kristaps. I like this team. I think it's young. We're developing. All we got to do now is trade the draft picks to get more draft picks, basically. And maybe throw in Carlos Boozer in that trade too, because we have some decent power forwards. We got actually maybe we throw in Michael Beasley to that deal, because he's older, and he costs a little bit more. I don't really know if we throw Michael Beasley into the deal, and we throw in the 8th pick. We could get some pretty good stuff, but I think let's just trade the 1st pick or the 8th pick by itself, and then maybe we build our own trade for some draft picks later on. We can get the Miami Heat's picks. Let's do that. 53 and 54 for Miami for the 8th pick. Thank you very much. And for the 5th pick, I'm not going to draft anybody at 5, so let's go and trade for some more draft picks. It looks like we aren't going to get a couple draft picks. We're going to have to take... We can move back 1. I don't really want to do that. It'd be a waste. Ooh, let's see. We could get not really anybody super good. Patrick Ewing Jr. maybe, who's a little bit older. We could get Dikembe, Timofey Mozgov, Mitchell Robinson's old, Stanley Johnson. But then we just be bringing in another wing that is decent. But Bobby Portis wouldn't be... let's bring in Bobby Portis. We'll give the Pistons the 5th overall pick. We'll trade for Bobby Portis. He can play some small forward, power forward, center. He can do a lot of stuff. So he can be on here. Plus, he's super young. We're just building a super, super young team now. And now let's see if we can just build a trade for Malik Beasley. So let's go to trades, go to proposed trade, pick a player, Malik Beasley. And then we'll just go around the league and look for a team that's like not super good. Actually, let me go around the league and who needs a power forward. That's going to be a big thing. So the Chicago Bulls could use a power forward. The Chicago Bulls have a young Nikola Jokic. They have a young Mark Aguirre. They could use a guy like Michael Beasley. Maybe that would turn them around. So let's go to Chicago and let's ask for their 2054. Let's ask for their 2054. Their 2055, and their 2056, and maybe throw in a player there, and maybe like a guard. Do you have any good guards that I might want? Josh Richardson, not really. Don't really have any good guards that I'd be interested in. I mean, Kyrgios Jr. is old, but he's expensive, so it's not really worth it to get a guy like that. You got an older Matt Barnes, but he's expired. If you give me like Josh Richardson, I'd be fine with that. We like what we have as far as the trade is concerned. They always answer that, so I will answer back with some first-round picks, I guess, because we have to. I have a lot of 2053s, so let's get rid of the Heat pick that we just got. They like what they have as far as the trade is concerned. I don't really want to offer any more than that. How many 2054s do I have? I have a few 2054s. I have a ton of 2053s, though, so we can get rid of another one of these picks. Let's get rid of the... Who's pretty good? Are the Magic good? I can't remember who's decent. Maybe the Pacers are pretty good. They like what they have as far as the trade is concerned. Okay. I see you. Give me your unprotected 2053. Okay, don't give me that. Get rid of Josh Richardson. I'll get rid of this other pick. And they have a deal. Okay, so we get rid of Malik Beasley, or Michael Beasley, who was a very good player. I was happy to have Michael Beasley on the roster. But we get some more picks. We bring in some good depth, some good young pieces to this roster with Kristaps and Bobby Portis, two big centers to bring in. I like the way this team is developing. We've got some veterans in Magic Johnson and Kevin Garnett. But other than that, we got some nice young pieces. David Robinson goes number 1 overall to the Raptors, who didn't even make the playoffs this year. And a trade at number 2, the Hornets move up, and they get Reggie Miller. Oh. And they got Scottie Pippen. They just got both of them. the Orlando or the Charlotte Hornets are making moves. Wow, I can't believe that. We got to go see what happened here. The Hornets get number 2 and 3. That's absolutely crazy. So David Robinson enters at an 83. Reggie Miller's a 78. Pippen's a 76. I can't believe the Hornets just made that trade. The Heat get Muggsy Bogues. Wow. The Hornets trade for both Reggie. Well, they trade up to get Reggie, but they already had the 3rd pick to get Scotty. That's crazy. The Hornets are going to be good. We didn't have any draft picks, so we don't have any rookie signings. We are going to accept all of these guys' player options, or team options, I should say. And we'll move on to the qualifying offers. Don't have anybody there. And now we enter the moratorium period. So now that we have everybody under contract that I think I want, let me go to moratorium and make sure I don't have any bird rights on anybody. No, I don't have any bird rights on anybody. So that's good. I think that I don't even need to make an offer, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 12 players. I'd like to have maybe another backup point guard and shooting guard. Maybe we do that. So let's go to point guard. Let's go to point guard and see if there's a nice veteran point guard that we could bring in. I'm curious to see if Russell leaves the Magic. Is he getting an offer from the Magic? Ooh, the Raptors, who just got David Robinson. Very interesting. Okay, so point guard, veteran point guard. We had Cole Anthony on the team before. Don't really want to go back to him. Dellavedova? I wouldn't hate having Dellavedova on the team for a year as a nice backup veteran point guard. And then going to shooting guard. Is there a nice veteran shooting guard that could come in and get some minutes if we had to have somebody get minutes? Luwawu Cabarro, maybe? Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. You know what? Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, KCP, I don't hate that. Bring him to the squad. They both agree. Well, they will both agree after the moratorium period. There we go. So we got 2 extra players to the squad. A nice backup veteran point guard, a nice backup veteran shooting guard to get some minutes in case something crazy happens. But I like this team. We can also have Bobby Portis play some small forward if he has to, but he can play some big man minutes too because he's 6'10". Boozer can play big man minutes. I like this team. We're young. We are certainly young, but we just need these guys to develop. If Joellen develops, if Parker develops, if Wiggins develops, Booker, I mean, we're going to be really good. We are going to be really good. The oldest player now is Magic Johnson, and then we got Kevin Garnett and Carlos Boozer, and then everybody else is super, super young. So this is a very interesting year for us. We are in a very, very different time, I guess you could say. Let's take a look at where... So Russell does sign with the Raptors. So after spending his entire career with the Orlando Magic, who drafted him, and he won a couple not MVPs, a couple scoring titles, he leaves for the Raptors. Bill Russell goes back to the Thunder. Brandon Ingram stays with the Nuggets. No, he was in Washington for a couple of seasons. Okay. And now he goes to the Nuggets. LeBron is headed to the Trailblazers. So this is his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 team. His 7th team. He's going to the Trailblazers. He's 39 years old. Shea has signed with the Bulls, who he was with last year. So he just re-signed with them. Tyrese Halliburton goes to the Pistons. Very interesting. Some very interesting moves in free agency this season. Player progression. Garnett stays at a 98. Magic does drop, but look at this player progression right here. Joel's an 87, Wiggins 84, Kristaps 83, D'Angelo 81, D-Book 81, Parker 81. That's what I'm expecting right now. And even these guys down here, Clarkson 78, Winslow 76, Portis 75. That's what I'm expecting. I'm looking for that development from these young guys because we're no longer in that dynasty mode. We've lost back-to-back seasons now in the Western Conference Finals. We're not in dynasty mode anymore. We are in full-on prepare for the future. We've got plenty of draft picks. We are ready to go for that. That's the kind of mode that we are in right now. We are in develop the future instead of go for championships. Now, if we make it to the Western Conference Finals again, and we make it to the NBA Finals, and we win a championship with this roster, then that's just an added bonus. But right now we are focused on the future. We've got a nice veteran point guard with Magic Johnson to lead the team, and we've got a nice veteran power forward in Kevin Garnett to score a lot of points. That's what we've built this roster around so far, and nice young pieces. And we've got a plethora of draft picks to decide what to do with. We can rebuild this team very quickly with these amount of draft picks. So that's always what you want to have. We are the Sam Presti of this universe. with all these draft picks. Ton of draft picks next year. Hopefully we get a good class. If not, then we'll just trade them again like we did this year. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. The main channel link is down below in the description. If you want to go check out the World of Juice channel, my main channel, it has Madden content, it has MLB The Show content, all kinds of different stuff that you can go see if you're interested in any of that. If not, I've got this channel right here for you that's got a ton of content on it as well, if you like NBA stuff. So I got a ton of stuff on here as well. Go check that out, and if you've missed any episodes. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I really do appreciate it. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.